So let's look at a couple graphs and see whether or not they're functions and figure out a way to determine pretty quickly whether they are or not. So graphs of functions. So we're going to do two really basic examples to take a look at this. So first let's graph y equals x squared. And let's see if this, is it a function? Is it a function? Because I can have an x and a y, but that does not necessarily determine if it's a function or not. So let's plot some points, and maybe you know what this looks like, but let's plug in some different points. So I'm just going to plug in some points in for x. Let's say maybe -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. So if I plug in -2, -2 squared is +4, because the negative is also being squared. -1 squared is 1, 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4. So -2, 4, -1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 2, 4. You know, even if I want to think about 3, 9 is going to be somewhere up here. So this is a parabola. It's called a parabola. Like a U-shaped graph, curve. So let's think about, is this a function? And remember, for something to be a function, that means each x goes to only one y. Each x goes to only one y. That's how we know it's a function. So I see some doubling up here, but let's kind of think about this. -1 goes to 1 and 1 goes to 1. Okay, that's okay, because this x only goes to one y. This x only goes to one y. Same with -2 goes to 4. +2 goes to 4. Even though they both go to 4, this x only goes to one y. This x only goes to one y. It's okay if they're going to multiple y's. It's just that each x can only go to one thing. Okay, so this is, yes, this is a function. Now let's compare that to, what if I had x equals y squared? Again, let's make our little chart of values. I'm going to leave a little space, but I can see right away 0, 0, that's still going to be a point. How about, it looks like it might be easier to plug something in for y in this case. So how about if I plug in -1 for y? X is going to be a +1. Or if I plug in -2 for y, -2 squared is a +4. If I plug in a +1 for y, x will be 1. +2 for y, x will be 4. I kind of went backwards in my order there in terms of my input-output, but these all work in that equation. So let's see what this is going to end up looking like. So 4, -2 is right there. 1, -1. We'll plot that point. 0, 0. Right on the origin. 1, 1 to the right, 1 up 1. And 4, 2 to the right, 4 up 2. So let's connect these. So we can kind of see, compared to the last one, it's like a sideways parabola. So it's like a U-shaped opening up to the right. So that means that, now let's look at this. So let's go to the 1. 1 goes to -1 and it goes to +1. In 4, the x of 4, it goes to -2 and it goes to +2. Okay, so this is not going to be a function because this x goes to two different y's. This x goes to two different y's. So no, not a function. So now let's talk about how we could figure that out pretty quickly looking at the graph. So regardless of the points, we kind of base this off the points. Look at right here. Remember, each x goes to only one y. So when I go over to an x, to the right or the left, if I go over to the, let's say right here, and I go up, there's only one point. Go over further, go up, there's only one point. Go in the negative direction, over at like -2.5, go up, there's only one point. Only one point. So the way I can tell we have a function is, and I'll write this out in a minute, the vertical line test. As long as any vertical line only crosses the graph at the most once, then we know it's a function. Versus this one that was not a function we figured out based on our points. Let's say right here at +1. If I draw a vertical line, I'm going through +1 and -1, just like we showed with the points here. Or at 4, I'm going through +2 and -2. So I'm going, for this x of 4, I'm going through two different y's. So this vertical line, since it crosses more than once, it's not a function. So that, let me write this out a little more formally. I'll put up a couple more examples. So the vertical line test says that if no vertical line intersects a graph, no vertical line intersects a graph at more than one point, the equation is a function. The equation is a function. Or kind of the flip of this would be say that if a vertical line crosses 2 or more times, then it's not. It's not a function. So what I have in parentheses isn't really the formal definition, but it's kind of sometimes the easier way to think of it. If a vertical line crosses 2 or more times, it's not going to be a function. Okay, so I'm going to just put up a couple more examples to look at this. So let's say a circle, like right here. So a circle, graph of a circle. Would this be a function? So a vertical line. Here I'm okay. It doesn't cross at all. Right here at this endpoint, it's only crossing once, so that's okay. But once I hit to the right of that endpoint, I'm crossing 2 times. So it's not a function. Not a function. Oh no, not a function. Okay. Examples. Or how about this one? This is going to go up and down. So this curve, vertical line, crosses once. No matter what, everywhere, it's only going to cross 1 time. So yes, this one would be a function.